Hi, this is Greg with Lionquestfitness. Now, the last two videos we talked about the McSweeney style of shooting from the hip and also the Applegate method of point shooting. And we talked about dynamics, shooting from the draw, etc. And I had a lot of people, or a few people, comment and say, Greg, look, we train on a stationary range. We're not allowed to shoot from the draw. We're not allowed a lot of movement in what we do. And I understand that because I train on a stationary range. And there's certain things I do to compensate for the rules and staying within the rules, as well as I practice my drawing at home with an unloaded gun or with some type of safety snaps or snap caps. So let's talk about the range I train at. Is the Department of Natural Resources range. It's an outdoor range. They have some sheds and some berms. It's a nice range. It's primitive, but I like it. They also have a couple of people who work for the DNR who supervise the range. Now, one of the rules are there's no shooting from the draw. There's no drawing and shooting. How do you compensate for that? All right, Glock 19, no magazine, nothing in the chamber. So what you do is you take a position like what you're going to shoot from. And I've been doing a lot of isosceles style shooting here lately. And when you shoot, you push your firearm out. In fact, I'll practice this. Also practice a side step because once again, I'm going into that old style combat crouch again. So I shift my weight and I push out. And I work on getting that profile of the gun on the target. And I'll practice this over and over again. At the range without actually shooting. So how about practicing with a revolver? All right, we've got a Chief Special here. See, it has a safety snap from Zeta 6. This is a good way of knowing that a revolver is unloaded, having one of these in. But it's the same principle. You're going to start from the, I guess this would be more like a mid-level ready position. And what it does, it simulates drawing. And once again, this is the way I train. I don't necessarily say you have to train this way. But I'll step to the left and I push out, working on getting my sight and the profile of the gun onto the target. And I'll practice this, probably a dozen times before I actually fire. One more thing I wanted to mention. What if you wanted to practice the Applegate style of shooting where you keep your arm out straight and raise your arm? Once again, no problem, but you have to be careful and safe. Particular range I shoot at, you've got a shed overhang that somehow, some way people have shot holes through the roof. Also, across the edge of the table we shoot behind. So obviously, you're going to hold it a little bit high, but you can still practice getting the profile of the gun onto your sights and practice your trigger squeeze and your one-handed shooting that way. So let's see how all this looks actually shooting at 10 yards, which is the first distance you can shoot at the range where I train at. This one I got a little high, but for self-defense purposes, I think this would be plenty accurate. One thing I want to mention, we have a 3-second pause, so it would be redundant to try to shoot more than one round at a time because of that 3-second pause rule between shots. Now, I want to emphasize this because there's a lot of people out there that think that all shooting must be fast, very fast. And, there's plenty of fast shooting on the internet, but a lot of times they speed that stuff and they use camera angles and tricks to make it look faster. But hey, to each their own. What you want is smooth. You want to be smooth in how you shoot. You want to be smooth in how you move. Let's try some one-handed shooting from the bench. All right, so how did we do? All right, we got 3 here, 1 there, a little bit low. Okay for 10 yards shooting one-handed. Now, once again, I want to emphasize this. We're not shooting fast. We're trying to shoot smooth when we shoot from a presentation. Now, next video, I'm going to show you some of the drills I use as far as drawing, moving, presenting the weapon, things that you can do at home. And this is Greg with Lionquest Fitness.